Let's start with something simple. You send a text, they read it, no reply. 5 minutes pass. Your brain starts whispering, was that too much? Did that sound needy? Why haven't they responded? Are they upset? Did I miss something? Now it's been 20 minutes. You're replaying the exact wording, analyzing punctuation, imagining conversations that might be happening about you right now. Then your phone buzzes. Sorry, in a meeting. That's it. Nothing was wrong, but you just spent 20 minutes running worst-case simulations inside your own head. And here's what makes it worse. You knew you were spiraling. You were aware it was irrational, but you couldn't stop. If that sounds familiar, you're not dramatic, you're not fragile, and you're definitely not alone. You're experiencing a very normal brain doing what it evolved to do. The problem is that it's using an ancient survival system in a modern world that constantly triggers it. Today we're going to break down exactly why you overthink everything, what's happening neurologically when your brain spirals, and how to shut it down in a practical, repeatable way. Not with affirmations, not with just think positive, with science. To understand overthinking, you have to go backward in time. 200,000 years ago, survival depended on noticing subtle threats. A rustle in the bushes, a shift in someone's tone, an unusual expression, a change in group behavior. If you missed a real threat, you didn't get a second chance. So the human brain evolved to scan constantly. It looks for danger in tone, silence, body language, timing, and social signals. It runs scenarios. It anticipates outcomes. It predicts betrayal. The people who analyzed every possibility survived. The relaxed ones didn't. Your brain inherited that system. The problem? Your brain cannot tell the difference between a predator and an unanswered email. Ambiguity equals danger. And modern life is full of ambiguity. A short reply from your boss, your partner being quiet, a friend canceling plans, a performance review with "let's talk." None of these are life-threatening, but your nervous system doesn't measure objective danger. It measures uncertainty. Uncertainty triggers analysis. Analysis feels productive, but it often becomes rumination. And that's where things spiral. So, what's happening in your brain? There's a network in your brain called the default mode network, or DMN. Think of it as your brain's idle setting. When you're not focused on a specific task, the DMN activates. Shower, driving, lying in bed, sitting quietly. And what does it do? It replays the past and simulates the future, endlessly. It scans for unresolved problems. Did I say something wrong? What if that goes badly? What if I missed something? At the same time, your amygdala, the emotional alarm system, is evaluating potential threats, especially social ones. Social rejection used to mean isolation. Isolation used to mean death. So, your brain treats social ambiguity seriously. Here's the key. Your brain would rather overreact to a harmless signal than underreact to a real threat. The cost of missing a real danger? Potentially catastrophic. The cost of overanalyzing a harmless one? Mental exhaustion. So, your brain always chooses more thinking. That's why telling yourself to stop overthinking rarely works. You're fighting a survival mechanism. Then, why overthinking feels productive? Here's the trap. Overthinking feels responsible. It feels like you're being thorough, prepared, careful. But there's a difference between reflection and rumination. Reflection leads to insight. Rumination leads to loops. When you overthink, you're not solving the problem. You're rehearsing fear. You think about the situation. You generate an explanation. Then you doubt that explanation. Then you imagine what happens if that explanation is wrong. Then you imagine what happens if you misread everything. You don't arrive at clarity. You arrive at more hypotheticals. And the more you practice that pattern, the stronger it becomes. Neurons that fire together wire together. The more you spiral, the easier spiraling becomes. It becomes automatic. And here's something important for people over 30. You have more life experience, more examples of things going wrong, more data. Your brain has a larger library of negative outcomes to reference, which makes your overthinking feel convincing because it's pulling from real memories. That doesn't mean the current situation is dangerous. It just means your brain has more material to work with. Here's the real cost of living in your head. Overthinking isn't harmless. It has consequences. First, your stress system stays activated. Every time you replay a conversation or imagine a worst-case scenario, your body responds as if it's happening. Cortisol rises, your heart rate increases, muscles tense. Do that occasionally and you're fine. Do that daily for years and it affects your sleep, your immune system, your blood pressure, your mood. Chronic mental stress becomes chronic physical stress. Second, your decision-making suffers. Overthinkers believe more analysis equals better decisions, but research shows that excessive conscious analysis interferes with intuitive processing. Your brain integrates experience, pattern recognition, and emotional cues subconsciously. When you override that with endless mental noise, clarity decreases. You don't feel more confident. You feel less certain. Third, your relationships change. When you're constantly analyzing tone and behavior, you're not present. You're scanning, interpreting, projecting, and that creates tension. Sometimes the problem you're trying to prevent is created by the anxiety itself. Finally, there's the cost you don't see. Time. You lose hours inside simulations, replaying conversations, imagining arguments, predicting failures. While real life moves forward, you trade real experiences for mental rehearsals, and rehearsals never satisfy you. Now let's talk solutions, not platitudes. Tools. 1. Interrupt the pattern. Spirals have a starting point. There's a moment when the first what if appears. That's your window. The second you notice it, move. Stand up, walk outside, change environments. Do something physical. Movement shifts neural activity from emotional centers to executive centers. It disrupts the loop. You don't need to solve the problem immediately. You need to interrupt the pattern. 2. Schedule your worry. Trying not to think about something makes it louder. Instead, contain it. Pick 15 minutes per day. That's your worry window. When a thought appears outside that window, tell yourself, I'll think about this at 6 p.m. You're not suppressing it, you're postponing it. Most worries lose urgency when given distance. And when your scheduled time arrives, you will often find that half of what felt urgent doesn't matter anymore. 3. Demand specificity. Vague fear is powerful. Specific fear is manageable. Instead of, something bad will happen, ask, what specifically am I afraid of? Then ask, what evidence supports this? What evidence contradicts it? What's the realistic probability? When you force your brain to move from vague dread to specific evaluation, intensity drops. 4. Externalize the thought. Write it down, all of it. When thoughts stay in your head, your brain treats them as unfinished tasks. Once they're on paper, your brain can relax, but don't stop at writing the fear. Write the action. If there's something you can do, define it clearly. If there isn't, acknowledge that. Thought plus action equals resolution. Thought without action equals rumination. 5. Separate you from the thought. Instead of saying, I'm freaking out, say, I notice my brain is catastrophizing. That small shift creates space. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. And what you can observe, you can influence. 6. The control filter. Ask one question. Is this within my control? If yes, act. If no, recognize that continued thinking won't change the outcome. This isn't about denial. It's about efficiency. Energy spent on uncontrollable outcomes is wasted energy. 7. Physical reset. Intense exercise reduces activity in the default mode network. When your body is engaged fully, your mind quiets. You don't spiral mid-sprint. You don't catastrophize during heavy exertion. Movement is medicine. What changes when you stop? Imagine facing a difficult situation. Instead of 3 days of mental noise, you notice the spiral, interrupt it, write the concern, identify what's in your control. Take one step. You move forward in 30 minutes instead of 3 days. You're more present at dinner. You sleep more deeply. You make decisions faster. You feel lighter. Not because life got easier, because you stopped fighting imaginary battles. You didn't become careless. You became deliberate. Your brain overthinks because it wants to protect you. It just doesn't know what truly requires protection. Your job isn't to silence your mind, it's to train it. One interruption at a time, one reframed thought at a time, one controlled response at a time. The version of you who doesn't overthink everything already exists. It's you, with better habits, and those habits start today, not when you feel ready, now.